Hey, how's it going, my lovely people? It's your boy Cody back with another Tales of video, and we are going to be talking about something super epic and amazing today. We're going to be talking about Tales of Berseria and how I think that it's probably the best entry in the franchise in almost 10 years, and honestly, one of the best new age Tales of games I played recently in a while. Before we continue with the video, I just want to thank each and every one of you for the love on my last video talking about the Tales of Vesperia remaster and how we should support it and buy it, because we need to show Bandai Namco that we love the series and that we're serious about it. I did a little research before making this video, and I didn't know Tales of Berseria kind of sold real poorly, honestly. It wasn't horrible. It's at this date, it's a little over 1 million copies, but I mean, compared to other games and compared to other franchises, only selling 1 million copies is kind of low, honestly. And I just want to make sure that Bandai Namco knows that we love the series, that we want to support it, and that we're ready for more content, man. But either way, without further ado, we'll jump right on into the video. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, honestly, from the get-go, like I said, I love the Tales of series. I started with Symphonia back on the GameCube and kind of just fell in love with it ever since then. You know, went from Symphonia to Abyss to Legendia and onward from there. And literally every Tales of game I played, no matter how good or how bad, I've always enjoyed something out of them. Even the worst of the series, Tales of Heart are even the worst of the series has offered at least something positive and good in some aspect to me. And I just really want to say that even though I love the Tales series to death, and I think it's amazing, with love and loving a series, I definitely think that the Tales of series can do things better. And, you know, if you love something, you want to make it better, you want to improve it. And I'm not trying to say that any of these games are horrible or bad, but I'm just kind of giving and sharing some of my thoughts and opinions on things that hopefully the Tales series can improve on, and what I think Berseria did right, and what I think the series should kind of progress towards going forward. As I stated at the very beginning of this video, I definitely think Berseria is the best new age Tales of game to come out. And what I mean by new age is anything from Xillia and beyond. So Xillia 2, Tales of Heart R, Zestiria, and Berseria. For those of you who don't know, Xillia was the last game created by the original Tales of team before they disbanded and new members came on and old members went to do new things, yada yada yada. It really set a whole new pace and feel to the Tales of series. From that game on, I really felt personally that they came with this new engine, they came with some weird asset builder, and genuinely from Xillia onward up into Berseria and even parts of Berseria, a lot of the areas, a lot of the just core game itself really just felt really empty and lifeless and outdated, honestly. I felt like the Tales of series since Xillia has suffered from a lack of innovation, a lack of just genuine improvement and enhancements to their formula. I really felt like they made a step back up until Berseria. If you see the video on the screen now, why? They've literally been using the same engine since Xillia, which is over 5 years old, and that might not sound too bad, but keep in mind that they've also created 2 new entries in a whole new console generation, Zestiria and Berseria, and they're still using the same engine that they were using on the PS3 games. And yes, I know that in Japan, Berseria and Zestiria have came out on PS3, and I understand that. That's still no excuse to try to innovate with your engine, at least. And while I do think there are parts of Berseria are great and fantastic looking, there are also equal parts that are just as bad, honestly, like seeing character models go at 5 frames a second, seeing the backgrounds clip out and actually not even halfway form. It's kind of jarring, and not only just with the engine, but just parts of the game, like going into dungeons, going into areas, talking to townspeople. A lot of the game just feels really big, open, and lifeless. And I would much rather have an experience that is more dedicated, smaller, and just condensed, but just have tons of stuff to do, than a huge open area where it all just feels meaningless. Even through all the gripes and even through all the shortcomings I feel like all the new age Tales of games have, I really, really did enjoy Berseria. I really felt like the story was great. I felt like the combat was amazing. I really felt like characters, like you could literally use all of your characters in battle. You know, like one dies, you can bring another one in and all that stuff. It really felt more seamless. But the story, the combat, the side quest, and just overall appeal to the game was so much better than most of the entries in the past. Even though they were using this outdated engine and asset builder, I really felt like Berseria is the best game they could make with what they had. The characters felt more alive than ever. It's probably one of my favorite casts, honestly. Very close to the top, in the top 3 for sure. The story was amazing and great, probably the darkest that it's ever gotten in a Tales of game to this date. There were plenty of side quests to do. There was plenty of in-game content as well. I know some people might disagree with me on that, but I mean, you've got your card games, you've got your mini games, you've got the Cats quest, you've got like side quests basically for every character to broaden their story and understand more about them. All things you should have in the Tales of game, and Berseria brought that and so much more. I'm not saying the game's perfect by any means, but I am saying that I can see that effort, I can see that light and hope, and I can definitely see a future still with the series. I know some people that have completely given up on the series and completely disowned basically anything past Vesperia, and don't get me wrong, I love Vesperia too, which most Tales of fans, at least old school, would say Vesperia is the last great Tales of game, and as a whole, I would probably agree, but I do think Graces does have some really, really good aspects to it, especially the combat system and the epilogue. Now, the main base story, yeah, it's kind of lame, but I mean, that epilogue is amazing, and I really did feel effort and excitement playing that game at the epilogue, at least. I know that sounds really bad, but I'm just trying to see the good in all of it, you know, in any of the Tales games. I really felt like, literally, from Graces, probably the next best Tales of game is Berseria. Zestiria felt flat for me. It was really, really boring, and again, had the same problem with the big open areas and just sprawled out canvases that just were dead air. It was dead air, man. Like, I can roam in any game. What is special about this? What are you bringing to the table that a million other games haven't brought? And again, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money goes into these games. And I respect the Tales of team and Bandai Namco for what they do, and I love the series. That's why I'm making this video. Not to just crap on the games, but to really analyze them and see how we can make them better. From this point in the video on, I'm really going to kind of be bringing some ideas to the table I feel like can make the series better as a whole. The first thing, obviously, would be to get a new game engine ASAP. The engine, by the time the new Tales of game comes out, oh my gosh, like, it's going to be 8 to 9 years old if you still reuse the same engine. Like, you need to get a new engine ASAP. I mean, it's 2018, man. Like, love you guys, but yeah, a new engine is definitely a must. I would definitely focus on more condensed areas as well. As I said previously, having a more, I don't want to say streamlined experience, but a more concentrated areas, more concentrated villages, towns. Even though places are smaller, that doesn't make them worse. Like, if places are smaller, but they're brimming with life and content, I'm cool with that. I would much rather play a game in a world where I know that it's lived in and experienced than one that just has dead air, man. One that's just big and nothing's going on anywhere. I would also continue to focus on the end game. I felt like Berseria did really good with what they had. There were so much more things going on than just the story itself. There were a ton of cool mini games you could play, side quests for like every character, collecting all the cats. I felt like Berseria did a good job with that, and I'm just saying, keep going. Like, keep having your players come back for more. I would lastly not focus too crazy much on DLC. Trust me, I know people love their costumes, and I know people, like, they're crazy about that. And if you've got to do it, that's cool, I understand. Just don't do anything like Zestiria, where you put like a whole nother part of the you basically put the epilogue behind DLC. Now, I know in America they didn't do that, but in Japan, yes, you had to legit buy Alicia's DLC story pack. Like it did not come included with the game. So do not do that anymore. Give us the whole game at least. If we spend our money for that, give us the whole experience. It's that simple. I just really want to get across and have everyone understand I'm not trying to dog the series. I really, really do enjoy the Tales of games, and I played and beaten every one I've talked about here. I'm trying to see the best in what the series has going forward. I really did enjoy Berseria. I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10, and I definitely see light and hope in the game. I definitely see a future of the series going forward. I'm just hoping that the next game, whatever it's going to be after the Vesperia remaster, I'm really hoping that it just knocks it out of the park. Like, I love the series. I love you guys. And I just appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite Tales of game is. Let me know what you think could help improve the series. Let me know what you think the worst game is in the series. Whatever it is, anything Tales of related, post it down in the comments below. And again, guys, just thank you all so much for watching. It really means the world to me. And I'll catch you next time.